We are very excited about today's show, and before we begin, we got Jessie Ledoux with our product feature of the week. Jessie, tell us what you got for us.
Hey, Stephen, I am a little bit heartbroken with this product promo, but the Cali by Diables, which we talked about before, is, in my opinion, the ultimate platform sandal. It's perfect for any pageant occasion. It's actually getting discontinued by the company. So we scooped up like every single last drop of their inventory. And we only have like 30 pairs left in stock. So like we won't be refilling this because we truly can't, otherwise we would. So this week we are doing an insane special on the silver Cali by Diables.
Okay, so what phases of competition is this shoe good for? And maybe like what systems? Is there age restrictions on this thing too?
Well, first of all, it's a 4.5-inch heel height. So you probably want to be at least a teen or above to invest in this shoe, but it is so versatile. You can wear it on your evening gown, your fun fashion. You can wear it to appearances. You can wear it for talent. And then I remember like when I competed at Miss New York, they said like, okay, you have to wear silver strappy shoes for swimsuit, which was an odd direction, but we went with it. But it would have been perfect for that. I wish this shoe existed in 2012 for me. But it's really versatile. It's a must have. And there's actually a couple customer reviews on it too that said like they are perfect for all events of the pageant. They look great with all the outfits. They're tall, but comfortable. They made my calves look great. I mean, people went on and on about this specific shoe. So the silver style, so versatile, so comfortable, a lot of straps, so it feels really secure, kind of hugs your foot.
Let's talk about price. And it's discontinued, so there's only 30 left. What's our size range if you have that available?
Yeah.
And original price, discounts, all that good stuff.
So the price is a sick joke because it is such a freaking steal. I can't even believe it. Like I should just buy them all. But these shoes are originally $75.99. So like a regular price for a high quality pageant shoe. Because they're discontinued and like we just want our followers to get these shoes. They're already on sale for $39. And then we're giving you 25% off of that. So it ends up being like $29. We pay for shipping, which is insane also. So $29, you can get these shoes. They have great reviews, great style. They go with everything for $29. So you can find them by visiting shop.pageantplanet.com.
Wow, that's over 60% off or something. I was doing the math over here. Yeah, so that's crazy. All right.
Oh, and you asked about size range. We do have sizes anywhere from 6.5 to 11. It says right on the site how many pairs are left. And we already said there's only 30 across all of those sizes. We have a lot of half sizes available still too. Like you need to go and scoop these up stat.
All right. We'll drop the link in the show notes. Get them while supplies last. Thank you so much, Jessie.
Welcome to Pageant Planet's podcast, where we share stories and strategies to help expand and connect the global pageant community. Visit pageantplanet.com to find pageants, hire coaches, shop for dresses, and more. Now, here's your host, Stephen Roddy.
Welcome to another episode. Today, Jessie and myself, we are going to be doing a new spin on our podcast. And today we are talking all about Lou Sierra. So Jessie, set the stage for us.
Stephen, there are so many fascinating people in the pageant industry, and we see them at different pageants, different events. And I know I personally am always curious about how they got there. So they've kind of risen through the ranks, so they have a really unique role in the industry. And for me, one of those people is Lou Sierra. And Stephen, for those who may not know Lou Sierra, can you give us a quick snapshot why that name might sound familiar to our listeners, even who can't place it right away?
Sure. Lou has been the runway and walking coach for the Miss Universe pageant as well as Miss USA pageant from 2006 to present. She's been around longer than Pageant Planet. So just recently, she's also become an on-air commentator for the pageant, which has made her even more visible in the pageant world.
Exactly. And I think she just has that dominant but still warm personality that many are drawn to. We had so many overwhelming comments from those who had worked with her in the past comment on our Instagram about how like she owns the room, but she still has a heart of gold and she genuinely cares about the client. So let's take a walk down Lou Sierra Lane and learn more about her.
Awesome. So let's start with her early modeling career. So, Jesse, what I heard is that when Lou moved to New York to pursue modeling, she was getting a lot of no's. And consider this like a pageant girl, always getting first runner-up. But ultimately, she signed with Zoli Modeling Agency, but she kept getting booked as a showroom model, which is like womp womp. I can feel a lot like, playing second fiddle to high fashion for someone like Lou, who just knew she had the potential.
Right. And I think she kind of always had like bigger aspirations for herself. So while a showroom model is not a career to sneeze at, she just like knew that she had something within herself. So much so that she had enough. She's like, I'm done doing showrooms, y'all. And she flew to Paris on her own, and it was actually against her agency's wishes. So pretty gutsy. And girlfriend's risk paid off, though, because she ended up being signed by one of the biggest agencies there. She performed on runways for Balmain and Givenchy, started developing her own relationships, and saw the kind of muses that these high fashion designers were looking for. I mean, we all know Lou. She has a really unique look. And she took her talents to Italy fashion houses the next year, and voila, she became one of the most sought-after models in New York beyond that, from agencies and designers that couldn't have looked twice at her before. So go, Lou.
Yeah, way to reinvent yourself. And industry greats like Bill Blass, Oscar de la Renta, Halston, they really took notice, and her career was officially on fire. And
fuego.
In fuego. And then Bob Mackie, who was the costume designer for Carol Burnett's show and designed all the red carpet and stage looks for Cher, took notice of Lou. And he coined her the kind of infamous runway Lou, kind of a little prelude here to what we're going to get at. What do they call that in a story? When it's like the foreshadowing, a little foreshadowing.
Very good English, and elementary English, Stephen. Good memory there.
Thank you. There's actually a story, going back to Bob Mackie, there's actually a story where he put Lou in a show, and he gave her shoes that were 2 sizes too small. And you know what? She like walked right out in them, owned the runway, and like just killed it. And this is why I think she's like a great pageant coach. And even in that moment, she made it part of her performance. And we actually have a video of that too, which we'll link to in the show notes.
Yeah, she quite literally walked out of her shoe. Like, she's on the runway and her foot like popped. So she was like, she just kind of went with it. And I think many of us have probably seen that video of the contestant who like dropped her sarong and swimsuit and by miracle like kicked it back up into her hand. Like, that was like very much the Lou Sierra happy accident moment. And like, although her career has kind of taken her to new arenas, she's still very much an active model, and she often still walks in major industry shows like Mercedes Fashion Week and all over the world. So kind of doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So now let's talk a little bit about pageantry and her television career.
Well, I don't think Lou like planned to become a pageant coach or any kind of coach, but one of Lou's friends, she was like a beautiful fellow model with Ford models. She was going on jobs, getting callbacks, but like never landing the job. Again, always a bridesmaid, always a bride, always a first runner up, never a queen. And she asked Lou if she could give her some tips, and like Lou, of course, said, sure, I'll help you out. Really nice of Lou to do that. And suddenly this gal was booking jobs. And the booker was like, oh my gosh, like this girl came alive. So she asked, and she said it was Lou's help. And that booker eventually asked Lou to start helping other models at the agency.
Well, I mean, and here's a prime example of a beautiful model who got signed to Ford, but she just wasn't getting booked. And so if you are not placing as high as you want to in pageantry, it's not that there's necessarily anything wrong with you. Maybe you just need a coach to help you fine tune these certain areas, and then your career is going to be off to the races. So, after Lou started helping these other models, and these other models are getting booked, and naturally this was very appealing to Ford because the more their models get booked, the more that they get paid. Lou's name started to rise, and so then she got on the Miss Universe organization's radar, and they contacted Lou about bringing this runway styling to the pageant arena, and this is around the time when Trump owned it. So. I guess the exact quote is like, we want the viewing audience to turn on the TV and think they're watching a fashion show, is how Miss Universe described it. And I think they certainly hit that out of the park with Lou.
Well, if I think back to Miss Universe 2006, that was like when I really started taking notice of all systems and not just MAO. I think the winner was Zuleika Rivera, and I think she was from Puerto Rico, and she had this like chain metal, really sultry fitted, heavy dress, hair slicked back, and like, wow, that pageant in general and the winner specifically, I feel like I remember it being a high fashion show. It like didn't really feel like the old pageants I'd watched before. And when I look back to that, and then the year after was Rio Mori, who was equally high fashion, kind of wore that beautiful kimono, like pattern dress. You remember both of those people, Stephen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Yeah, specifically the chain dress. Love that one. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was a hot dress. And then you kind of think of the direction Miss Universe went. And then you had Diana Mendoza from Venezuela. That was really a starting point. And even as a viewer, I kind of picked up on that. I just had no idea what was behind it. So I do think that was in pretty large part thanks to Lou's direction.
Yeah, completely. And she was the first runway coach to actually train 3 winners in 1 year, like in this particular like organization. So she trained Miss Universe, Miss USA, Olivia Colpole, and Miss Teen USA, Logan West. And interestingly, Lou has also coached 3 girls in that same year who made top 5 at Miss America. So
yikes.
That
quite
is
the year.
Quite the resume, quite the breakout year. And she's also coached Deshauna Barber, Kara McCullough to the title of Miss USA. So quite the successful track record she's had.
It's interesting that she's able to have individual clients because she does work with every contestant at Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, Miss Universe. But I do know there are other several systems that also allow, like their walking coach, their choreographer is able to be a private coach as well. So we get a lot of questions about legitimacy of that, or people thinking it's fair or unfair. But if the system allows it, by all means, take advantage of the official coach so they know what they're looking for. Yeah,
I know girls in, I'm going to say lesser pageants, like air quotes, but it's just like, these pageants have lower numbers than USA, but, they're still in America or whatnot, but they work with them, so they work with Lou. So yeah, she's definitely accessible.
So she still transcends pageants. Like she was featured on the BET show, Rip the Runway, and a show maybe some love to hate, or for me, like, I gotta be honest, I hate to love it. Like I rarely miss it. Kevin actually equally loves this show. But she was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians when Kendall Jenner was like, I want to be a model. And they brought Lou in, and Lou tried to teach Kendall Jenner her runway walk. So like, again, one of the biggest shows on television, and they called Lou Sierra. Just kind of reiterates that like she is runway Lou, as Bob Mackie said.
Yeah, a small tangent, but this is probably how they all got connected with Kendall Jenner. Is Fadil, who actually shot photos for USA and Universe, discovered Kendall Jenner, and he was like, out of all the Kardashians, she's the one who could be a runway model and like take this to new heights. So, and because those two know each other, he probably recommended Kendall work with Lou. So I mean, that's a opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but it does make sense. Okay, so let's talk about Lou's legacy today and like what's Lou up to, which is kind of fun to rhyme.
So Lou realized that she like was meeting a need after the second year working with Miss Universe organization. She was like, okay, we got something going on that the pageant industry hasn't seen before. And this is the direction. She kind of like saw the direction pageantry was headed, and she found it. And I don't want to butcher this name, but it's ALUP International. I don't know if it's ALUP or ALUP, but whatever it is, it's ALUP International, which provides a wide variety of services, including like choreography training. She holds a lot of seminars that include categories like runway and model coaching, pageant coaching, modeling 101, youth motivation, self-motivation, styling. So she kind of covers A to Z when you want to be a model or a pageant queen.
Yeah, and I'll link to Lou Sierra's coaching page in the show notes, so if you want to check it out. And she also has a coaching app called Modelversity, which you can download to assist with pageant preparation, and I'll link to that too. So, Jesse, you've been following pageantry for a long time, a lot longer than I have. What are some of the things that you have heard Lou say, and some of the lessons that you know of hers that are floating around?
So my my age-old favorite quote by Lou, which cracks me up every time I hear it, is there are only two kinds of people in the world, those who want to be me and those who want to marry me, which, like, honestly, same, Lou. Get it? Totally get it.
Don't get it.
Kidding. Like, I mean, I cannot compare to Luciera, but she is an icon. And with that kind of confidence and influence, like, get it, girl. So, like, I love that quote. It's so Lou to me. Like, I've never met Lou, but I've been watching pageantry and following pageantry for so long that I feel like that is her to, like, a T. But she does have, like, 3 other key pieces of great advice for being at the top of your game that I do want to share with our listeners who maybe would like to work with Lou or have, kind of summarizing all of that. But the 3 pieces of advice she has is 1, self-confidence, 2, having a great team, which is something we always talk about, from your coaches, your experts, to your friends, your family, etc. And then finally, doing what is you. We talk about authenticity and the new age of pageantry all the time. And these 3 points, self-confidence, having a great team, and doing what is you, are key. So Lou kind of summarizes this with the 3 do's will keep you rising to the top, whether you are on a runway or in a boardroom. And I think the fact that attitude, being able to adapt from runway to boardroom and not just trying to, like, okay, let's create successful pageant contestants. It's let's create successful and powerful women. And that's what makes her a fabulous coach and advocate for the industry. So I do have a couple of Instagram comments that I want to read from Instagram. Stephen, I don't know if you've seen these yet.
Yep.
But why don't you read us the first one?
Okay, this is from Ms. US World, and she said, Luciera is a name we all know and love in the pageant world. She just has a powerful presence, a voice that people want to stop and hear and soak in every word because of the wisdom and encouragement she shares. Luciera is a legend in our world, and do not even get me started on her walk, with the hand clap emojis.
The hand clap has emerged as my new favorite emoji, Stephen. I don't know about you. Like, I use it, like, to emphasize every single word. Mm-hmm. Are you using the hand clap at all, or are you, like, not there yet?
No, not there yet. I think my favorite one is still, like, the emoji with just the eyes that look like really, like, almost nervous. Like, oh God, did I just say that? Or, like, did that just happen? That sort of thing.
Well, I'll start using the hand claps more. Maybe you'll adapt.
Okay, yeah, do that, and people will probably start seeing it pop up.
So another comment I want to mention is from one of our faves. This is from Danny Walker. Danny was Miss Montana USA, so she has worked directly with Lou. And she said people wouldn't know this from the telecast, but Luciera sincerely cares for contestants and has their best interest at heart when she critiques them. Because we do, so it was Danny Walker, we do see her on the telecast being really straightforward and direct with these contestants, and can be challenging to be in that really tough spot of trying to be Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, Miss Universe, or whatever title you're going after. And here's Luciera, who you've seen on TV for years, and telling you, like, you're walking like a baby giraffe at times, and you have to be able to, like, keep your head up. But I love that Danny kind of clarified that no matter what she's saying in her critiques, she wants you to be better, which is, like, the magic of any coach, is understanding how to interpret their tough love and putting it to practice. So thank you, Danny. And Lou actually responded to Danny in the comment section of this call for comments. So I love that she's still involved, and she still resonates with the contestants she works with.
Yeah, and so our last comment comes from Donna Miles _Avon. And she says, as a mom of someone who has been inspired and empowered by Lou, I respect her integrity in her confidentiality. She never compares and boasts about the girls she trains. She gives the girls confidence, constructive and necessary critiques for their improvement, while creating and cultivating their individual God-given beauty. Her investment in their personal development goes so much further than walking, interviewing, modeling, and pageants. It is a forever gift in their personal development and confidence for a nation of empowered leaders. Thank you, Lou, for your grace, your commitment to our future generations of great women in this world. And she said, #love Luciera.
What That's a powerful. Sweet testimonial. Oh my gosh. Love that.
So sweet. So, like, for our listeners, this is Lou Sierra in a nutshell. And if you've worked with Lou or you want to learn more about her, you can visit her profile on Pageant Planet. It's under the category Pageant Coaches. Leave a review for her services and read more about her story. And if you have suggestions for future personalities to showcase, email editing@Pageant Planet. I'll put the email in the show notes. We read every email, like, regardless of how many. It's like, that's what we do. And a special thank you to our journalist, Julia Stone, for putting the story together, doing all the research. This was not a sponsored podcast. We wanted to highlight and feature different celebrities that we think would cause you inspiration, so you could see how people have leveraged the industry of pageantry to boost their careers and create opportunities that even transcends pageantry. So if you've gained any benefit from this podcast or for ones previous, please leave us a 5-star review. It might seem like a small action, but it really does help us keep the show going.
Want to become a part of pageant history? Create a free contestant or business profile on pageantplanet.com to unlock hidden features and connect with other experts throughout the world.